Welcome back to the Lords of Lore podcast. I'm Matt,
I'm Cam.
and we are here to talk about the Legends of Vox Machina episodes 4 through 6. I didn't know they were coming out in threes. I was excited and surprised to see
Me
this.
too. I was pumped. I thought, they were gonna do the one episode weekly kind of thing after the big premiere drop, like
Yeah.
Invincible and stuff like that. But man, pleased as
Yeah.
punch.
Yeah, let's just get straight into it. If people haven't seen already, you can check out our review of episode 1, 2, 3. And we talked a little bit about our background with D&D and specifically Critical Role and all that stuff. So if you want to hear that, you can check out that episode. But let's get into episodes 4 through 6. Holy shit. Episode 4 was just fun. Like I remember this sort of time frame. Obviously, like both of us have seen this in the actual game. This storyline sort of play out, but to see like some characters pop up like Jarrett, I was just like, oh shit.
And he got his rank increase as well. He's now a captain now.
Exactly,
that's super cool.
It's again, like I said in our last review, it is jarring for me at certain points when like character that's traditional or has previously been voiced by Matt in the game is now someone else, so now the voice is different. But I actually appreciate a lot that all the characters of color they've given to voice actors of color, just
Absolutely.
because I know they're not insensitive people in that way. But obviously, when you have a dungeon master, you're not gonna like. I have a NPC that I've just created in my head who's darker skinned. Let me call my friend up and voice it.
They'll come in for
Yeah, so obviously in the game that type of stuff is not possible, but it's very cool that they've made the effort to do that here.
It's super cool.
But yeah, super cool to see Jared. I'm excited to see if we get to some Chroma Conclave and Whispered One stuff later on in other seasons. That whole arc with the spice and all that.
Also, did you say episode 4 was like fun and lighthearted?
It was fun because it was like funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. I was gonna say there was some dark stuff in episode 4, man. Like, those ghost things.
Yeah.
I don't remember them in like the actual campaign.
No.
So they might have just added them to be like, here's this like little fight kind of thing.
Right.
I guess, this was around in the like actual play show when they were doing their shopping episode.
Yes. Yeah.
Where Travis was just like getting super impatient with everyone because it was just everyone was buying stuff.
Yeah, I couldn't, because it's been like a while since I actually watched the game. I couldn't remember if this actually happened. I was like, I don't think it did. Like, I don't remember some of these things, but I do remember them like being in the keep afterwards. There's also like something that's not in the show. Was like the episode where they like turn themselves into cows to like find the rock thing. So that was out too, but around that same time. But I enjoyed episode 4. It was sort of like a get us there type episode.
Absolutely.
But it was cool to see the Briarwoods and sort of the powers that they have and all the necromancy and all that sort of fun stuff.
I really like how it's kind of like a dip into Mercer's mind of like, okay, this is what they were doing around the time that the team was doing this. And I love that. I love being able to see it from other perspectives of like the villain and stuff, which we do in Masks as well. This is the second time we're bringing up Masks. Play it. It's really fun. But like we do that with like our prologues and stuff like that, which I think adds like to like the cinematic effect of it. So it's very well done in the animated form.
Yeah, I think like just talking about like role-playing games in general, often we don't get that. We're always with our group because they're the people playing the game. And so I think the game that you and I play in Masks, where we do take like a prologue and stuff before each episode. I think it takes like a committed group of role players to not use that information during the game. I think D&D is one of the, because it's so popular, it's one of those games that lends itself to, it's a wide sort of breadth of types of people who are playing the game. And so people who might not be able to distance themselves from, meta sort of knowledge into their decision making. It is cool to see that here. Not to say that this group of people specifically couldn't, but it is cool to see like because we're just watching their game. on stream. It's cool to see now that like there were things happening that we don't just hear about, we actually get to see. Something that was sort of like a change or diversion from the actual stream game was Pike's amulet. Because I think I remember it actually cracks when they're in Craghammer, like below Craghammer, doing the Dwergar stuff.
That's like the first like few or first 10 so episodes of the campaign, right?
Yeah, and so like it's cool that they sort of put that in here, and obviously because Ashley was not able to be at every game or every taping, like to give us that sort of explanation in world of like where Pike is, and then we actually see that on screen, so it's not like are they just going to put Ashley or like Pike's character into Whitestone now and like change that whole dynamic? Not that I would have an issue with that, but it's cool that it sort of has stayed true to what happened in the game.
I was gonna say, it was during the first few episodes I was talking to my roommate. I was like, do you think that they're just gonna like have Pike there? And I guess Ashley had said in an interview with someone being like, no, like we definitely like follow Pike's journey of like like religious journey and everything, and it's fun to like revisit that character that I made years ago and like talk about the stuff that she was doing then. And it's great to see like that where she's like meditating and has that vision of her just like so burning cool. And she thinks that it's like this curse that Lady Briarwood put on her, and the woman's like, I don't think it's a curse. I think it's an inside thing.
Yeah, she's like a hypochondriac. A religious hypochondriac.
Right.
No, that is really cool though to see like, and I remember like on the stream game, it was sort of that same thing of like you're diverging from the path of one of Saren Ray's followers, and that's why your amulet's cracking and you've lost your connection. It's not because of what someone did to you, it's the way you're acting and the like your internal sort of conflict that's causing this sort of detachment. So it's cool. And I wonder if we're seeing like conversations that happen between Matt and Ashley while she was away filming whatever that show was called.
Blind Spot. That's
Blind Spot. So it's cool to see that, like, because like I know like for us as like RPG gamers, there's always conversations that are happening behind the scenes and away from the group, being like, I think maybe part of my backstory was like this, like, oh, I love that. But then, that only sort of exists like in one or two people's heads, and then no one else is really privy to that until it becomes a pertinent to bring up. So that was cool. I also wanted to bring this up. Did you catch the table in the keep?
I didn't until I saw a post about it this morning.
I like as soon as Scanlan fell on it, I was like, wait a sec, that's a logo I recognize.
I knew it was oddly shaped. I was like, what is with that table? And then I saw the post. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
I was like, oh shit, that was so cool. I've looked up, there's like a Reddit thread of the table because I was like, I should build something like that. My D&D table is a little bit different, but
that'd be sick.
And then obviously in that scene, underneath the table, we get Keyleth doing the first sort of sunbeam.
That's so cool. There were so many like cool aspects, and then that like handoff line when Pike like decides to stay behind, being like, you're their light now. It was so heartwarming. So I was like, oh, that's very nice.
I love how they set it up too. Like Pike not being able to do the light or not being aware of the conversation or like elsewhere mentally, and then Keyleth trying and not being able to. And then I can't remember what Percy exactly says to her, but it's like, show your worth, like prove yourself. And then she so cool. I really love those creatures. I don't know if those are D&D creatures, but I'm definitely using something similar.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I saw them, I was like, that's scary as hell and so cool. Oh, man.
I don't know if you caught in the next episode when they're being tracked by like those wolf things, there's a scene where like one of the tentacles wrap around Scanlan and go into his throat, and he's like,
oh. And like the little like red anime blush kind of
Yeah.
thing when it happens. Oh yeah, I cackled laughing at that point.
I love
That
that
was
they've
so
just
good.
made him a fucking deviant. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, which makes like possible other like future arcs
yeah,
even more exciting to
yes,
see
yeah.
where Scanlan's gonna go. Uh yeah, awesome. And then yeah, like getting into Whitestone as well after that chase where like the dichotomy of Percy like explaining what Whitestone was like just like this lovely place with like the sun tree and all its like wonder, and then you get to like what Whitestone has actually become
Yeah.
now under the Briarwoods rule, and you just see how everything is just like dark and decrepit and everything like that. It's so dope.
Yeah. Right before we jump into Whitestone, because I
Mhm.
totally agree. It's like I love like because we watched the stream game,
Mhm.
knowing what Whitestone actually looks like and hearing Percy tell it, I'm like, oh man, he's gonna be so sad. When he sees what it looks like now, it's just gonna be devastating.
Oh yeah.
There's a few sort of like, I don't know, maybe Easter egg lines I picked up on. Scanlan's talking about being strangled by a disgruntled pimp or something,
Oh my
or
god, yes.
choked to death. And Vax goes, "Be careful what you wish for," which for people who haven't watched the stream game, you might not know what that's referring to, but people who have definitely picked up on, the significance of Vax saying that
Yeah.
to Scanlan, which I thought was funny.
Absolutely.
I love when Scanlan turned into a giantess and Grog was like sexually conflicted.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole kind of like campfire scene I completely forgot, but yeah, when they're talking about like the craziest monsters that they fought were all like in reference to like later things in the campaign, which
Yeah.
was cool, like Vax fighting the Rakshasa
Oh, I
and
love
everything
that.
like that. Keyleth and the Duragar just throwing him into the
Oh
lava.
yeah.
Oh, that
Oh my
was
god.
yeah, and just the hard cut of like her just smiling and everyone's like, that was
Wow.
dark.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
But
Did we
yeah,
get a story from Vex in that scene? I don't think so.
I don't remember getting one from Vex, but I do remember, yeah, Grog's was him biting the tongue off of another creature
Yeah.
kind of thing. Scanlan.
Scandalous. I still finished. Oh my god. Absolute degenerate.
Yeah,
Uh
absolutely.
and then obviously we get Percy saying
Mhm.
my worst monsters are in Whitestone and we're all gonna meet them very soon.
Yeah.
Uh and then sure enough, episode 6 was just jam packed. Like I feel like everything up until episode 6 in this show, I've thoroughly enjoyed. And it's been really cool to see in an animated fashion. But episode 6 and what's coming is what I backed the Kickstarter for.
Oh
This
yeah.
is what I came in like, getting, we're gonna turn the Briarwood arc into an animated project.
Mhm.
This is what I signed up for. And
Gosh.
just like even in episode 5, like them bringing in that family, and I bought the dinner guest, and like at first I didn't realize what it was setting up, and then as
Mhm.
soon as
The
Delilah gives the
amulet.
necklace, I was like, oh my god, this is disgusting, like sick in
Yeah.
a disgusting way.
Oh yeah.
uh yeah, what were
And
your
then
thoughts on that?
oh man, I had paused it because like after she gave the amulet to the little girl, I paused it to like go back to like get a good look at the like crew.
Yeah.
And you know how Amazon tells you like the actors in the
Oh, okay.
scene,
Yeah.
it showed that the little girl was voiced by Sam's daughter. And I had
Oh
texted you
my
after
god,
I
yeah.
found this. I was like, wow, that's dark.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. And yeah, that entire the reveal of them as well, like just walking through the city streets and like seeing
Yeah.
it and being like, oh,
One of
oh
the
no,
darkest moments in the first campaign.
oh yeah,
Very reminiscent of like Game of Thrones, where
mhm.
Theon sort of kills those two farm boys to make it look like he's killed the Starks. Uh
Oh,
yeah, I remember this moment in stream and just being like, oh my god, like
yeah.
which like Matt, you're fucking sick, man.
What's going on up there? You got to talk
Yeah.
about it, like
Therapy. But no, obviously like very chilling, and just speaks to the sick nature of the Briarwoods.
Mhm.
But yeah, so then getting into Whitestone, there's some characters I forgot took part in this art, like Keeper Yenin,
Yeah.
Archie, even, and Bryn. I was sort of like, oh yeah. And then obviously we get the cameo of Matt being one of the rebels and immediately dying again.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Matt died so many times in these in these 3 episodes. He was some
Yeah.
of the guards that like those ghosts killed, and yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice that like technically he is everyone that's ever died besides
Yeah.
a PC character. So it's nice
Yeah.
to sort of get that in this medium too.
So funny.
But
Then,
yeah, so what are you feeling about finally getting to Whitestone, and what we're seeing now and going to see eventually?
man, I really enjoy seeing like the rising of like this like rebel force kind of thing, all like hailing underneath the like Derolo banner and stuff like
Mm,
that. Like just seeing them like all meeting underneath that bar kind of thing,
yeah,
and then having the sun tree roots and everything, and having Keyleth like almost touching them. I
yeah.
was like, are they gonna get Matt to voice the sun tree?
Oh my god, they have to, right? They
Right.
have
I
to.
I hope so, because oh man, that's another like great like comedic bit throughout that entire campaign one,
Yeah.
is whenever they do the tree stride through the sun tree with
Hey.
Keyleth talking. Hey Kiki. It was great. Oh yeah, we also saw Minxie form for the first time, like in
Yeah.
like actual
Yeah.
episode instead of just like the intro. And yeah, that was great when they're all in like that prison breakout
So
scene.
cool. Yeah.
Also, the door
Oh
joke
my
as
god, I
well.
wrote that down too. I was like, I remember what happens. What I specifically remember from the stream is like Percy trying to put his sword through the door and like
Yeah,
wedging it down. Like and I was like, man, how are they gonna do this in the
right.
fucking show? And I just love like the dichotomy of like fucking group one just going into wrecking shop, and then
Yeah,
these guys struggling with the door.
with the door. Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my god, that was so. I just wrote down fucking doors.
Yeah. And then yeah, just Vax the entire time. That door was cursed.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I also
It's so
love
good.
Percy fucking climbing up to the window and then
I fell out of the
falling
window.
out.
Just like
So
you didn't
fucking
need to
good.
see the entire like him going up. You just see him.
Yeah.
So,
I love it because
so
it like
good.
lends itself so well to the animated sort of medium.
Yeah.
Just like these like gag things that happened on stream, just being like, yeah, we can do that pretty quick in animation, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
Yeah.
Have a quick montage moment kind of thing. Yeah.
So I think throughout the first episode, like 4 and 5, I was taking a lot of notes of being like, oh, I want to talk about this. That's a cool sort of cameo Easter egg thing.
Mhm.
And episode 6, I was just like in it.
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't on my phone like at all. Like I wasn't even like taking notes or anything. It was just like
Yeah.
I am so like invested in seeing how this plays out.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then finally we get what's the guy's name? Stonewell?
Oh yes, Stonewell, Captain Stonewell.
Fucking sicko. Absolute. I hated that guy.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Just the
But like,
brutality of the hammer.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm just like replaying the scene where like he took out that one rebel's like knees and then just like came down on their
Oh
head.
man, that was
Just
sad.
it was so sad because like it's like the first rebel to like help them out, being like, get
Yeah.
out of the street, dumbass.
Yeah.
And then they just have that moment.
Oh
And
my
it's
god,
like,
this show is so gory.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's I'm happy with it, but it also is like it makes my stomach queasy when I see it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh man. It's like some
Like,
Mortal
Jesus.
Kombat shit.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, then Percy ends up confronting Stonewell.
Yes.
So what were your thoughts now seeing this? It's Artax, right?
I honestly forget what
Oh
entity this is.
yeah,
I
but
know.
Smoke Deep. I think it's Artax.
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, seeing sort of, the what would you engravings on the barrels of the gun. This one disappearing. Oh my god, everything about this scene was like, I can't say it was exactly how I imagined it, but it was so what it was at the game table. You know what I mean? It was like, it was very cool to see it in this medium and to see it exactly how it was described.
Just having that like intensity in the scene of, especially just being like the one-on-one between Stonewell and Percy as well, just like insane. And then him taking off the mask, being like, I wanted you to know that it was me.
I love that. Like in I think both in, or especially in this episode, we don't even see him put on the mask. He just like crosses in front of like a pillar and then it's just on, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't think it's Artax. It's Orthax.
No? Orthax. Oh, okay.
Artax is the horse from Neverending Story. Oh my god.
Very good. Still fantasy.
Probably gonna related. Get tons of comments.
Yeah. Are you dumb?
I was confusing Orthax and Artagan, I think.
Oh, yep. That would be it. That would be it. But yeah, and yeah, seeing like the eyes like inverted on colors. I literally, before I even started watching them last night, I text you being like, man, that thumbnail for episode 6 though.
Yeah. You know what I love so much about the black eyes is he took on like a raven like appearance, which I think is cool because of like that raven skull he has, and sort of some of the stuff like in the, I think it's an intro cinematic, we see like Percy with like a raven behind him.
Yep.
Or it's either the intro cinematic or like some of the graphics that they put out as part of this. But for people who watch stream later on, Percy's sort of connection to that entity type of thing, I thought was really interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. He just looks so terrifying. And then obviously like the turn onto Vax. Yeah.
I was.
Percy he's not all right.
No, he's definitely not. That one needs therapy.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the intensity in the voice acting, and like, of course you're gonna get it. You have like the 7 best voice actors in the game, freaking playing these characters that they've created. So they're putting their heart and soul into it. It's so nice to just hear that.
Yeah.
And everything. And it's so cool because like on Twitter, they've been thanking like the other dubs of the show as well, and being like, can everyone like listen to the Japanese dub and everything like that, because like they do so well. And I love that they're like putting that out, being like, guys, like give the other dubs a chance as well, because they are insane.
Yeah. Oh man, I should check out the Japanese one.
Right. I was thinking that too.
I love that there's sort of like, I think especially within like the last 10 years, voice acting has become such a diminished role when we talk about like film. Not so much with like, but it's sort of branching into the territory where now we're seeing like Hollywood actors go into video games and even animated series, which I don't innately have a problem with.
No,
the problem I have is that it pushes, great voice actors out of the spotlight. And it's just sort of, it's a way for, the Hollywood actors to, get less intensive projects and, keep making money, which I don't think is a bad thing, just to be clear. No. But the fact that we're missing out on some of these people who have devoted their like lives to being great and phenomenal voice actors, like I feel like that's a bit of a shame. So I'm really glad that like through Critical Role and through this animated series, we're getting like voice actors supporting other voice actors and really like championing them too. And like you're saying, in different languages, even, it's like really incredible. And I think for these voice actors specifically, like our main crew here, to have something they made then get dubbed into Japanese is like this great like full circle fucking thing.
It's
so
amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man, voice acting is so cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. it sucks because you see all the stories of like other voice actors being like, yeah, I auditioned for this role and they straight up told me they're not looking for voice actors, they're looking for actors.
Yeah.
And that hurts a lot. And it's
Yeah,
like, oh,
even like there's some like Hollywood films that have come out, animated projects, where like a voice actor will be on the project 90% of the way through it. And then, you know, then they, okay, thanks for your work, but we're actually going to get Matthew McConaughey and replace all your lines with Matthew McConaughey and put his name on the
no
poster. And, you know,
way.
you still get paid, but you know, you don't get top billing and all that stuff. So there's
Oh,
been a
that's
few, I think I want to say Steven Glickman in a movie called Storks. I hope I'm getting all
okay.
those
Yeah.
names right. He was like, yeah, they were trying to find replacements for me the whole time, but they couldn't find anybody to do this. And so that's how I ended up, you know, being top billing in this animated project, which normally wouldn't
Man.
happen, which is a shame. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I hope stuff like this, you know, create some awareness of how important and how good voice actors are at what they do. Like it's not
Really.
just,
Yeah.
you know, people who aren't actors finding a way. It's these people are like craftsmen, you know.
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh, that's insane. I had not heard that story. That's crazy.
yeah.
Ugh.
Sucks. But yeah, so what are you looking forward to in the next set of episodes we're gonna get?
Man, I'm holding out hope that we're gonna get some Suntree speaking with Keyleth
Yes.
and stuff like that. Oh man, that's another thing. Yeah, seeing Vax and Keyleth kind of like flirting
Yeah.
with each other as well.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. I forget if that happens this arc or if that's later.
You know, I think it starts in this arc, like on
Okay.
the on stream game, but
Yeah.
I can't say for certain.
Yeah.
Everything's such a like
A
a
blur.
blur. Yeah. But I do really like that we're even seeing like Vex and Percy. Like it's very
Mhm.
subtle, but it's like, you know, there's some like ribbing going back and forth, and they spend a lot of scenes together where she sort of pushes him or like
Mhm.
makes him question himself and stuff. And you were just seeing like the very like, you know, initial start off points of where that relationship goes.
It's very much this like she kind of forces this like inner child in him like
Yeah.
out a little bit, and it's really nice to see. And
Yeah.
then like you get like that opposite with Vax and Keyleth, where
Right.
Keyleth is very like innocent and everything like that, and like Percy even is like pushing her to be like, no, you are more and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I see all of these characters are going to be loved by everyone.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Yeah, I'm excited to share my love of these characters with like a more general audience, because like
Right?
obviously 4 hours a week is tough to, you're gonna love it. You just have to
Yeah.
commit thousands of hours of your life to this. You
Put it on
know?
1.5 speed. I swear,
Yeah.
it's great.
Oh, I wish I had thought of that when I was
Right.
watching.
Right.
But yeah, no, I one thing I wanted to mention is like I think it's really cool that like Vax, obviously, like you said in our last review, like very sort of broody edgelord type character. And I love that Vex sort of also is similar in that same way, obviously with being twins, but her sort of resentment for Keyleth, because Keyleth is everything that they're not, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why Vax is drawn to her. Because like she shows him another side of life that's like, you don't have to always be brooding and upset. Sometimes you could just, you know, take a moment and enjoy life. And
Yeah.
Vex is like, fuck that, get real, you know, get your shit together.
Yeah.
So I love that, like we're seeing sort of the conflicts there, but also the relationships between characters start to form and stuff.
Yeah.
I am super excited to see Scambo. We got the beret in this episode, but I'm just like, oh, fucking give it to me.
Yeah.
Seeing what was his name? I think like they called him like the Baron or something. The guy
The
with like the
Baron.
gauntlet.
Oh yeah, with
arms.
the
I can't remember what his title was, but I think that's who Scanlan goes up against as far as I remember.
That's
so
right, yeah.
Sorry if I'm spoiling this for people who haven't seen the stream show. But I promise you are in tune for something incredible.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I also love the reveal at the end of this episode of Cassandra.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I'm
so much is going on, and I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Also, Scanlan translating the book. He's like, there's a Xenowog or something, or a
zipper twat.
Yeah.
Which, oh no.
Oh, he's like, okay, great. I'm glad I mistranslated that because
Yeah.
that bad image in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, just seeing how useful Scanlan is to the group and everything with like the translation and stuff like that.
I think so this is spoilers for the stream game, so if you don't want to hear that, maybe skip ahead a little bit. But you know, Bard's Lament is one of my favorite episodes because that sort of monologue from Scanlan in that moment is just such a fucking gut punch to not only like the characters but the players and even us on like the viewers watching this and be like, oh yeah, you know. And I think Scanlan throughout this show so far has been very much just comic relief, but you know, he shows up in these moments where it's like, oh yeah, we would have been fucked without for Scanlan. And that's a common theme. Scanlan is super powerful. He's just an idiot. And not an idiot in that he's, you know,
not Grog level, but like,
but he's, you know, just as effective as Grog. And just, absolutely, you know, he hides his pain through being this, you know, not deviant, but degenerate person. And so like I feel like we're sort of leading up to that. And you know, Scanbo is one of those moments where that becomes like super clear. But I love seeing how like even in this show, like Scanlan is predominantly comic relief, but there are moments where he like they would be fucked without him. And I love that that's like already playing a part in this. And you know, I don't know if we'll see Bard's Lament sort of in this animated format. But if we do, I'm glad we're sort of already like laying the groundwork for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is one thing that like I'm hoping that they do a little bit better, because like Grog has very much been that comedic relief and stuff like that. Yes, he's insanely terrifying when he is raging and stuff like that, but he's like been mainly comedic relief. I do hope that like when people see him have those character moments, like in episode 4 with like him and Pike in the room being like, maybe you just have to apologize. Like, I hope those aren't like passed on people, like those just like nice moments where like Travis got to like role play like a little bit with this character.
Yeah.
Because I remember that was his like biggest gripe with Grog was I don't feel like I can like contribute to conversations because I have a 7 intelligence kind of thing. So like I hope the show like is showing Grog in that's like good light, like that he's a strong figurehead both in like comedy as well as like he's a character foil for a lot of them as well.
Yeah, I hope we get into some of that stuff. Like I feel like the character dive on Grog will be like Craven Edge stuff. So maybe that's season 2, but you know, I do like what we've seen from Grog so far. It's super funny. But I'm with you in that. Like, you know, there are moments for Grog that are like, oh, you're not just, you know, a giant meathead, like you have emotions as well. You just can't express them in a way that's, you know, productive most of the time. So I'm excited to see more of that. Obviously I love Grog as a character, but I would like some more like you know, a little bit more dive into who Grog is as a person more than just like the weapon that he is, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that'll do it for us here. Our episodes 4 through 6 review of the Legend of Vox Machina. Cam, where can people find you online if they want to talk D&D or Critical Role or Masks or anything like that?
Follow me on Instagram at WhySoChappy or Twitter at ChamCatman. And stream my friend's music, Kaylee Jade on Spotify and everywhere else. Great music there.
People can watch our main show of this podcast every Tuesday, Lords of Lore. And you know, we do Boba Fett reviews. The last one will be coming out this coming Wednesday, so look out for that. And we got a lot of things, some book reviews coming down the pike. Cam and I will eventually be scheduling where we can record our review for Kith and Kid, so that's coming as well. And all things Lords of Lore, or follow me on Instagram at keep_making, where I do fun D&D miniatures and terrain building and stuff like that. Or my YouTube channel, Keep Making. Thank you guys so much for checking it out. As always, I'm Matt.
I'm Cam.
And we are the Lords of Lore.